A few months after my grandmother died, we found a dusty box of old family photographs hidden in her attic. At first, they seemed ordinary. Birthdays. Weddings. Family vacations. Then my cousin noticed something that made everyone at the table go silent. A stranger appeared in every single photo. Not most of them. All of them. The pictures were taken decades apart. But the man never aged. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody remembered ever meeting him. And when my grandmother was alive, she only said one thing whenever someone asked about him. If you ever discover who that man is, burn every photo you own. We thought she was joking. We were wrong. After the funeral, our family spent days sorting through old belongings. Most of the photographs were black and white. Some were faded and damaged by time. But the stranger was always visible. In one picture, he stood beside my great-grandfather during a wedding. In another, he was watching from across a street during a birthday celebration. Sometimes he was close. Sometimes far away. Yet he always seemed to know exactly where the camera was. His eyes were always fixed directly on the lens. The longer we looked, the stranger stopped feeling like part of the background. It felt as if he wanted to be noticed. Everyone became uncomfortable. Everyone except my cousin Daniel. Daniel became obsessed. Daniel scanned every photograph and organized them by date. Days turned into weeks. He spent every spare moment studying the stranger. One night he called me. "You need to see this." I drove to his apartment immediately. The walls were covered with printed photographs connected by strings and notes. Daniel pointed to two pictures. One was taken in 1961. The other in 1998. The stranger looked identical in both. Same face. Same clothes. Same expression. No aging. No changes. Nothing. Then Daniel showed me something worse. He had enlarged several images. In every photo, everyone else was slightly blurry. Only the stranger appeared perfectly sharp. As if he wasn't actually part of the photograph. As if he had been placed there afterward. Weeks later, Daniel found a newspaper archive online. It contained a century-old photograph attached to an article about a factory accident. The article was dated 1923. There were dozens of workers in the picture. And standing behind them was the stranger. Exactly the same. Daniel dug deeper. He found him again. And again. And again. School photos. Military photos. Town celebrations. Disaster scenes. The stranger appeared throughout more than 100 years of local history. Always watching. Always unchanged. The discovery terrified us. But Daniel couldn't stop. He said he was close to finding out who the man really was. That was the last normal conversation we ever had. 3 nights later, Daniel called me at 2 a.m. His voice sounded different. Weak. Exhausted. Afraid. He whispered. "I know what he is." I asked what he meant. For several seconds, he said nothing. Then he spoke. "He's not in the photos." "What?" "That's what I've been getting wrong. He isn't appearing in the pictures." I felt a chill run down my spine. "What are you talking about?" Daniel whispered one final sentence. "He's standing there when the picture is taken." Then the call ended. No goodbye. No explanation. Nothing. The next morning, Daniel was gone. His apartment door was unlocked. His phone sat on the kitchen counter. His wallet remained untouched. There was no sign of a struggle. No evidence of where he went. The police searched for weeks. Nothing. It was as if he had vanished into thin air. Eventually, everyone assumed he had left voluntarily. But I knew Daniel. He would never disappear without telling someone. Especially not after what he had discovered. Several months later, I returned to Daniel's apartment after it was cleared out. Most of his belongings were gone. But one photograph remained hidden beneath his desk. The moment I saw it, my stomach dropped. The picture had been taken only days before he disappeared. It showed Daniel standing outside his apartment building. Behind him stood the stranger. Closer than he had ever appeared before. Close enough to touch him. But what truly terrified me was the expression on the stranger's face. For the first time in over 100 years of photographs. He was smiling. On the back of the photo, Daniel had written, "I finally know why nobody remembers him. People only notice him after he chooses them. Once you see him, he starts getting closer. When he finally reaches you." The sentence stopped there. It was never finished. I wanted to throw the photograph away. Instead, I took it home. That was a mistake. Days later, I began noticing things. The stranger wasn't just in my family's photos. He was in mine. Pictures from school. Vacation photos. Random snapshots. He was there. Always far away. Always watching. I had never seen him before. Now I couldn't stop seeing him. Every week, he seemed closer. Closer than before. Closer than he should have been. Then last night, I found an old photograph on my bookshelf. One I had looked at hundreds of times. A picture from my childhood. And standing directly behind me was the stranger. Not watching the camera. Not watching the photographer. Watching me. And for the first time, I realized something even worse. In every photograph where he appeared, someone eventually disappeared. And in my latest photo, the person standing closest to him is me. So if you ever find a stranger staring out from the background of an old family photograph, don't ask who he is. Don't search for him. And whatever you do, don't keep looking for him in the next picture. Because he might already be looking back.